Let's move on now to Oregon government. Governor Kotek spent Thursday morning in Salem trying to fight for her housing bill. It's the one priority she has this session for lawmakers. It's Senate Bill 1537. It includes $200 million towards housing infrastructure, $200 million more towards financing for moderate income housing, and more money for site acquisition, local planning, and accountability. The governor says the legislature has that money.
But what we can't see happen is that this legislature leaves at the end of their session without this bill. There's money in this bill, and you know what? You have the power. You have the resources to allocate to this bill. You can say we are going to do housing production differently over the next 3, 5, 10 years, because that is what Oregonians are asking us to do.
The bill does include expanding the urban growth boundary. The governor's office says it would only be in limited cases, though. Here's Matthew Chabold from the governor's office to explain that.
Which would temporarily allow a city one time to add 150 or 75 acres of non-resource land, exception land, or urban reserves if they meet a whole series of criteria. Cities have to meet a land need criteria and an affordability need criteria. As I mentioned, there's no high-value farm or forest land. It's limited to non-resource, exception, and urban reserves. There's a cumulative cap in metro, so 600 acres, regardless of how many cities would be interested. And cities themselves are still subject to the 150 or 75 acre cap. And then 30% of all housing in these expansion areas would be legally required to be affordable, which would be one of the strongest inclusionary housing requirements in the United States.
It is still early in the session. The bill will likely go through a lot of work and possible changes. Another work session is scheduled for next week. We'll let you know what happens with this bill.